I'm so excited to share that through Executive Endurance Coaching, I've officially joined Never Second's Coach and Nutritionist program. Never Second is a science-driven performance nutrition brand built specifically for endurance athletes. I've personally been using their fueling system for years in my own training, and I love how simple, precise their approach to carbohydrate fueling is for runners, cyclists, triathletes, you name it. And today, if you want to try Never Second for yourself, our listeners can get 15% off by using the code GRIT15 at checkout. GRIT 15 at checkout. Just head to never2.com and start fueling your training with intention. This episode is brought to you by Koya Performance for Life. Koya combines wearable technology with behavioral science to help you unlock more energy and perform at the highest level. Their coaches have worked with Olympians, Super Bowl MVPs, World Series champions, and other elite performers. Their 12-week program focuses on sleep, exercise, nutrition, mindset, and recovery, blending biometric data from wearables like Oura, Whoop, or Garmin with one-on-one coaching from a team that includes a dietitian, sleep coach, movement specialist, and mental performance coach. Grit Files listeners today receive 33% off the program using the code AGRANDOFF. Visit koya.life to learn more. Welcome to the Grit Files. I'm your host, Laura Reynolds, and today we have Greg Vetter, entrepreneur, builder, husband, father, and living proof that success and struggle often ride side by side. Greg took a family recipe and built Tessemae into the #1 organic salad dressing brand in the U.S., but his journey goes far beyond business wins. It's a story of risk, rejection, reinvention, and learning who you are when the thing you've built no longer defines you. So through his book, Undressed, and his work mentoring leaders and entrepreneurs, Greg is helping others navigate the beautiful mess that comes with chasing something meaningful. Greg, welcome to the Grit Files.
Hi.
Whew! We made it through the intro, folks.
Yeah, here we go.
So for those of us listening who may not know the origin story of not just Greg Vetter, but the Vetters, because you built this thing with your brothers and your mom.
Yep, and my wife.
And wives. I was going to say the wives were all heavily involved in this business and ultimately kids too.
Yep.
But take us back to the beginning of this thing. Was this just you're sitting at your, Thanksgiving table with your family and you're like, this is really good salad dressing. Let's try to sell it to Whole Foods. Like what was the origin story?
So I played a lot of sports, played college and professional lacrosse. So did my brothers. And always wanted to build something. Every tailgate, the only thing they ever asked of my mom was to bring her dressing. She made one dressing. And so she...
Tell me it was the lemon pepper one, because that was...
Lemon pepper was phenomenal.
Okay.
But the original was lemon garlic, which we just added pepper to make lemon pepper.
Oh, secret's out.
Yeah, we're super creative.
I'm gonna make it.
And so every tailgate, every college house, everybody, regardless of where people were from,
bring that shit.
Bring the dressing. And the Long Island boys would be like, tell your mom to bring the gravy. They'd call it gravy.
God.
And so, I was very ambitious, didn't come from money, public school boy. My dad's a nonprofit. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. And I got exposed to wealth in college for the first time. I went to Washington College. And so I met a lot of guys from, Manhasset, New York, and Darien, Connecticut. And they had live-in maids and, summered in the Hamptons and Nantucket and all this wildness. And I'm like, wow, this is really awesome. Yeah. Money is cool. And so I started interviewing their dads. I wanted to figure out how these guys came up with it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so, hey, man, what do you do? And everybody had a different story. And some stories were too complicated, and I didn't think I could do that. And other stories were family wealth. And, I'm the one trying to make the name for myself, so couldn't do that one. But then a couple were just reasonable. I did this, I did that, just kept doing it. And what I realized was nobody was overly special, and I didn't think that they were that much smarter than me or that much more focused than me. And so I just was like, well, what am I going to do? Yeah. And so initially I got into insurance, and very boring. The first job was a draw. I got a $20,000 draw, which means you owe that money back. So it was basically indentured servitude.
Paying for you.
Yep. And it was over top of a bodega looking over a cemetery.
Oh, sweet.
And so
Best curb appeal you could have asked for.
And so I'm cold calling all day. right? I'm waking up at...
It's like a physical reminder of where this thing is going to take you.
Well, and it was like I was waking up at 3:45 in the morning. I was lifting first because I was playing lacrosse at the time still. I would be in my cubicle by 6. I'm cold calling. I'm coaching a youth lacrosse team. I'm driving to Hunt Valley to train with the Bayhawk strength coach at night. And like, I'm just doing this on repeat. And I was doing well in insurance. And then I'm like, I was doing so well. I go, I think I should be a partner in this thing as a young guy. So I sit the owner down. I go, hey man, I really want to be a partner. And before I could even get the word partner out, he was like, no, you make enough money as a young guy. You're never going to own a piece of this. That's that. And in that moment I go, okay, I'm not in control of my own destiny at all. I think I need to put my efforts into something I really care about. I wanted to recreate the environment of playing college and professional sports where you were so proud to wear the t-shirt or the coat or the hat and you wore it with pride.
Right.
And I wanted to be in a company or have a culture that reflected all of that. And I didn't know what it was going to be. And so every day at lunch, I would go home and I would stand on my head in the dark with a journal next to me, waiting for an epiphany.
Why the standing on your head?
I just felt like all the blood would get in.
All of that tracks, but then the standing on the head.
I just felt like all the blood would get into my brain and I would be smarter in that moment to come up with an idea that I hadn't come up with.
Tell me you do this for all your clients. Your coaching clients.
Yeah.
Just flip
Get on your head. You're going to get a really,
stand on your head.
Yeah, really great neck. And I never came up with a good idea, honestly. But one day I walked downstairs and this 2-liter bottle of salad dressing that my mom had made for me was missing. And so I look all around our little townhouse and I'm opening every cabinet and every drawer. I can't find it. And you don't misplace a 2-liter bottle of salad dressing. So I call my wife and I go, hey, did you take the salad dressing to work? And she goes, no, I didn't take a 2-liter bottle of salad dressing to work. And I'm like, I cannot find it. She's like, well, why don't you open your eyes and look? I'm like, I've been looking for 20 minutes. She goes, maybe someone broke into our house and took it. I go, no one broke into our home and stole salad dressing. She goes, I don't know what to tell you. So she hangs up. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to call some people. So I call a guy that doesn't have a full-time job. And I'm sure everybody can envision who this guy is. And I go, hey man, random question. Did you take my salad dressing? And he's like, yep, woke up this morning, was jonesing for it, hopped on the scooter, knew the code to your house. And now I'm crushing a salad. And I'm like, what? I go, well, can you bring it back? And he's like, yeah. And in that moment, I go, well, what kind of man steals another man's salad dressing? But then I thought, what kind of salad dressing is so good that someone would steal it? So I call my wife back. I'm like, hey, you know, so-and-so stole the dressing. And she kind of laughed. I go, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to start a salad dressing company. Dead silence. And she goes, this is going to work. And that's the greatest idea I've ever had. And I was like, okay. So I started using the only business skill I had, which was cold calling.
Yeah.
And I just started calling local grocery stores. And I gave myself until I got an educated answer. So it didn't need to be a yes and it didn't need to be a no. But I wasn't going to allow a gatekeeper to just go, we're not interested. Right. So 2 weeks later, I finally get in touch with the salad dressing buyer at the local Annapolis Whole Foods. And I said, I've got a world famous salad dressing and you must try it. And he's like, come by Friday at lunch and I'll try it. So I call my mom. I'm like, I need you to make the greatest batch of salad dressing that's ever been made. And she goes, why? I go, I got a meeting at Whole Foods. She goes, for what? I go, I'm starting a salad dressing company and you're going to do it with me and we're going to use your recipe. She goes, this is never going to work. And I'm like, just make the dressing. Me here, Mom. Just make the dressing. So I go over on a Friday, the dressing's made and she goes, what are you going to put it in? And I'm like, give me a Tupperware container. Oh, I knew it. So I get a Tupperware container. I put some crunchy romaine lettuce in it.
Right, with tape on it, Whole Foods?
No, I just had a little red lid. I walk in. They announce the guy over the loudspeaker. He walks up, and he's a big dude, looked like a former professional boxer, not a guy buying organic salad dressing. And he's like, where's the stuff? And I'm just like, hold up this
Where's
Tupperware
the
container.
juice?
I go, I brought you salad. It's lunch and you're busy. And he's like, looks at me like I'm on drugs. He takes this piece of wet lettuce out, licks the dressing off.
This is a movie.
And he looks at me and he goes, that's the greatest salad dressing I've ever had.
Stop.
He goes, you need to call the regional office. And I go, how about you call the regional office for me?
Yeah.
I'll go to the meeting. So I did the same thing for the regional meeting. This is February of 2009. And they go, we love it. Fill out 200 pages of paperwork.
Oh.
And then you can be in. We'll buy 4 cases from you for the grand opening of the new Annapolis Whole Foods, May 5th, 2009. So I go, excellent. So I take this pile of paper, and this is way obviously before AI.
Yeah.
And
I read it.
And
for
I
ourselves.
read the first page.
out.
I don't understand anything that's on the page. And I just start Googling, what is a HACCP plan? Pops up. I go, what is a HACCP plan for salad dressing? Pops up. I go, that's my HACCP plan. Print.
All of this while he's standing on his head upside down.
Yeah. And so I did that for 200 pages. I sent them the paperwork. We did have to overcome unbelievable amount of hurdles in that period of time. But then we got in for the grand opening of the new Whole Foods. I set up a demo. I got a little apron. I got it embroidered. I had some recipe brochures. I still have a full-time job, mind you. So I'm praying that nobody from my work walks in for lunch.
And they're all watching this thing unfold, and they're like, what a freaking nut.
Well, I don't know what.
With your name on it?
And
What are you
so the doors open and people are coming in. I'm like, hey, try this dressing. And we sold 4 cases in 30 minutes. So I go to the regional director. I go, hey man, all that salad dressing's gone. And he's like, go get more. I'm like, it's all gone. He goes, you sold 4 cases of salad dressing in 30 minutes. I go, yeah. He goes, go to your warehouse and get more. I go, you told me that was for the month. So I call my mom. I'm like, you gotta make more salad dressing. And she's like, I'm in Pilates. And I'm like, fuck Pilates.
Get the juice.
And she's like, no. So we were making it at a rib restaurant in Eastport in Annapolis at night when they closed.
Not shady at all.
Yeah, not sketchy at all. And the joke was always like, we probably should have gotten into something with better margins like drugs because we were doing the sketchiest shit ever for organic salad dressing.
Breaking Bad with the Vetters.
Yeah, but with salad, trying to help people eat better. And so we ended up that week setting a national sales record. We sold 650 bottles in 5 days in one store. And that was the moment or the sign where it was like, I think that this can scale. I didn't know how large it was going to be able to scale, but I knew I was young enough. I was 25 at the time, that even if the whole thing went up in flames, that I was still young enough to, go sell insurance again.
Right.
And so, then that lasted for 15 years and it was a wild ride. I mean, we invented clean manufacturing. We started the clean eating movement. We made kind of organic clean eating mainstream. We participated in every food trend.
When you were kind of right before, or maybe at the same time, but it felt like it was before and led to like Primal Kitchen.
Yeah, no, we were way before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was kind of the same preface, but they were following behind
Yeah.
you. And Primal was one of the top brands that
Yeah.
people know. But
Yeah.
you came before that.
We did, and they sold to Heinz for like $200 million. And that's kind of the difference of, you're building a company with a board, with a lot of shareholders. You're a first mover. There's a lot that goes with that versus other people that kind of like, hey, do this, but don't care as much. Make it shelf stable, use a co-packer, and then we can just sell it quickly. And obviously that was a wonderful model for them, and they made a lot of money. But the interesting part of what we did was we learned the playbook on how to basically start anything, scale manufacturing for anything, sell in stuff that's not cool. I mean, in the grand scheme of stuff, there's nothing dumber than salad dressing. Nothing. Like, I'll wait. You can come up with
Right.
anything, and I'll be like, I don't know, that's kind of cooler than salad dressing.
Well, I feel like the ability to differentiate salad dressing.
Yeah.
There's already like
There's a
how
million.
much could you really differentiate?
Yeah.
You would think.
Well, and
Until you did.
Until we did, because my mom gave me one piece of business advice and only one. And she said, Greg, do you remember Schlitz beer? And I said, I know Schlitz beer. I didn't drink it. And she's like, it was the most popular beer when I was in high school. They changed the recipe, made it not taste good to try and make more money, and then everybody stopped drinking it. Don't do that.
Yeah.
So when we were looking at how do we scale, co-packers couldn't make it properly. And so we were left with this challenge, which was either commit and sacrifice everything, start a manufacturing plant, create manufacturing processes that have never existed before, or end it. And so we were like, I have a very high risk tolerance. And I go, well, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
We're going to start a manufacturing plant. I convinced my dad to sign over his house as collateral.
Oh my God.
And we started a 36,000 square foot manufacturing facility in Essex.
Insane.
Mm-hmm.
Insane. I'm just going to throw my papers up in the air now, by the way, because you just scrapped all of it, everywhere that I was going with this. But some of the things that really stood out in that I think are really important, especially if you're considering going into entrepreneurship, is that a lot of people think, you're going to have this great idea and it's going to be like wildly accepted because it's so good. And everybody thinks this is great. Like,
I know.
Wonderful for starting this. But you highlighted, like, a lot of the time it's going to be received and people are going to think it's complete delusion. They're going to think you're an absolute nut, which was true of you. But I think a lot of people also assume that when you go into entrepreneurship, you take these massive risks, and you do, but they think that it's got to be this like monumental thing that got you into what it is that you're doing. And it's not a lot of the time. It's you have the balls really to be able to ask somebody to do something. Like, you could have easily gone back and tried to make the appointment with regional, but you were like, nah, actually, I think you're going to do it for me. You had the balls to say it, whereas somebody else might not. So I think that was really important to highlight, because that's really a misconception, I think, when people are getting into this world of entrepreneurship, is that people are going to accept it. Most of the time, I feel like they don't. Like, most of my crazy ideas I've had, people are like, all right, see you back in recruiting, because that's where this is all going to fail.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think we're in an interesting time, too. I didn't have to really deal with it. We were in the beginning stages of the comparison dilemma of social media. But that wasn't driving my behavior at the time.
No, this is just you.
Yeah. And so I was willing to do anything, and I was willing to fail, and I was willing to look like an idiot, and I was willing to stand in a grocery store handing out samples, because the alternative was
boring.
A life that everybody else was living. And I don't think enough people look at these moments that they are gifted. Like I had in a kitchen, which was an actual lightning bolt moment where I thought to myself, salad dressing sucks. No one has ever done it well. Why does it suck? Does clean salad dressing even exist? Why is my mom making it for me in 2-liter bottles? I'm willing to risk everything for that. The minute someone has a moment like that, they immediately look for validation from other people that they think are smarter to then confirm or deny the idea or the risk. And in reality, all that they're doing is adding an excuse as to why they don't need to move forward.
Yeah. Because it's scary.
It's unbelievably scary. And I can tell you all the way to the end, especially because I was so young when I was doing it, everybody says they have the answer. Everybody says they're smart. Everybody says they're an expert. Everybody says they know what to do.
Yeah.
And only the person that is actually in it, and I use The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho all the time as a great example. Santiago is the main character, and he understood what they call the language of the desert. Yeah. He could feel and sense things that other people couldn't because they weren't on the journey. And that's tough.
Yeah.
Because nobody's willing to say, and this is an extreme example, but wow, I saw a blue heron this morning. That's a sign of luck and prosperity. I'm going to move forward.
Right.
Like, that's an insane thing to say to somebody. But if you're looking for a sign and you get it, that's the sign.
Yeah.
Whether you like the sign or not.
Yeah.
And, you know, I will say a couple times I got a sign, I didn't like what I saw, and I tried to convince myself I didn't see the
Don't
sign.
See it. Nope.
I was like, no, that wasn't that at all. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to work out. And it's like, no, Greg, that was the sign. You shouldn't have gone forward with that situation because we want it to work.
Yeah.
We are so vested in this thing working for all of these different reasons. Some are our own false negative beliefs about ourselves. Some are, you know, all of the fears we have. We don't want them to be realized because we're scared of the pain that's going to come from it. But you're not going to know until you go.
Yeah.
And reading about it and analyzing about it and talking to other people about it. Yes, it can add context and color to help you make a better decision, but you can't rely on somebody else to say, this is a good idea, this is a bad
No,
one.
and I feel like a lot of times, and I have this conversation with a lot of people that have left corporate in particular, but a lot of the time, you're going to have a lot of resistance. You're going to have a lot of people tell you that it's not going to work. And I feel like a lot of that comes from just uncertainty. They're not familiar with the thing, but that doesn't mean that you're wrong if you're wanting to create it or do it. It just means it either hasn't been created yet, or people don't understand it, or it terrifies them because they wouldn't have the ability to be able to leave this safe, secure, comfy thing to pursue something that they love. And they probably want to, but they're probably like, fuck, like, I don't know how I would have the audacity to do something like that. So you get stuck in this moment of like, and I remember that feeling when I was leaving corporate. I kind of knew 2 jobs before I left corporate that I was done because it felt like resistance. It felt like, am I just like a tough employee to manage? Is that why I'm not like getting along with the leaders? And it was really like my thought process was actually further ahead than where they were. And I was being told like, this is not going to work. This isn't going to make sense. Having left, everything that I had been talking to them about has worked like pretty exponentially well. But I took much longer than I probably should have because I was waiting for somebody to be like, yeah, this is going to be great. You should do it. You might not hear that before you break off and do your best things.
You probably won't. The reason is people don't actually want you to be more successful than them.
No, we're all people. We're all selfish.
You know, and so if you do this thing and it works, now you're a mirror to their life that they have to look into and say to themselves, fuck, I'm just scared.
Yeah.
Or I'm weak.
Yeah.
Or I let my vices control me. And that is another thing. It's a very lonely journey.
I was just going to get into that, is that there's a moment that a lot of people don't really talk about that everybody that's breaking off and creating their own thing goes through, is this massive feeling of loneliness, because there aren't a lot of people that are going to walk side by side with you until it works. And then they were always there. They knew this was going to happen for you.
Yeah. That's
they
always
may have even been the one to tell you to do it.
I know.
You know? And you're like, okay.
100%.
Were there moments where people told you that this thing wasn't going to work, that you were like, all right, maybe I shouldn't? Did you ever have that moment where you're like, this is kind of lonely, this does suck, and maybe they're right, maybe it's not going to work, and maybe I should stop?
Well, all of the it's not going to work was in the beginning. So everybody said it wasn't going to work. Everyone. No one said it was a good idea outside of my wife.
We love her for that.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Genevieve.
Genevieve, we love you for that.
Yep. Everybody said it was going to be a complete disaster. The rest of it, there were different levels of, should you keep going further, or should you expand here, or should you keep trying to push here? And it was kind of the same reasons, like, you know, some grocery stores want to keep you small so that they can keep you to themselves. Some people don't want you to be that successful. And you do have to figure out who wants what, because then on the flip side of that, you're going to get people that are going to tell you it's going to be the biggest thing in the entire world if you just bring them in and allow them to help you. And that's kind of how the whole thing ended up blowing up, was too many people with too many different views on where it should go in complete and utter conflict with each other, basically creating a toxic culture that just
it got away from
it ate us from the inside out.
This kind of ties into that, but what's the cost of needing everyone to agree with you before you make a move? If you, because
you're
we
not
do
gonna
live
make
in
the
this world.
you're not going to make the move.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very stubborn, and I'm a very independent thinker. And I do create, I understand that about myself. So I create kind of a decision-making matrix where I will loop in different views that are completely different from my own to get different perspectives, to make sure I'm not just being stubborn to be stubborn.
Yeah.
And so that's important, but it has nothing to do with whether or not I'm going to do something or not.
It's just gaining perspective.
I'm just trying to gain perspective. And this one time we were talking about launching an idea, and all these people were chiming in on, well, this and that and this and that. And my brother Brian started laughing. He goes, guys, Greg's not asking you whether or not he's gonna be doing it.
He's doing it anyway.
It's
just want to make
done.
very clear about that.
He's letting you know what's gonna be happening, and you all are gonna decide whether or not you want to participate.
Right.
And it completely shifted the conversation in the room, because everyone stopped giving their opinion and then started thinking about, oh, do I want to be a part of this or not?
Yeah.
And again, it's so interesting. I just actually saw something on social media. This guy wanted to just hear haters talk shit, knowing that they're uneducated. So he put up a painting of a Monet.
Yeah.
And he said, hey guys, I had AI replicate this famous Monet film or painting.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? It's the real one. He took a picture from a museum.
Yeah.
Hundreds of comments. This is total dog
Trash.
shit.
Trash.
There's no blending of the colors at all. This looks like level 1 art student nonsense. And it just kept going and going and going and going. And that to me is the greatest example of what happens when you ask other people's opinions.
Cheap. It's kind of like and I feel like it also kind of reminds me of this. Maybe it was like Mel Robbins that talked about this, but a lot of the time this happens as you're getting older, but you go through this phase in life called like shedding. So you feel like you go from wanting all of the yes friends, all the ones who are like, that's a great idea, you should definitely do it. Everybody wants to feel good by having people that say yes. But as you get older, you realize that you're kind of doing yourself a disservice by surrounding yourself with yes people. You want to surround yourself with people that know you so well that when you make a shitty decision, they're like, that's kind of outside of your character.
Yeah.
Or have you thought about this? So I love the idea that you have this decision-making metrics that includes those people, because they're going to be the ones that give you an idea of what kind of resistance you're going to be met with. Yep. So who better than to kind of...
It's a color wheel.
Yeah.
Like I have my... Right? And I'm in the middle, and I've got, my mom and her random opinion.
In there.
I got my wife and her opinion. I got my brothers. I have my dad and his random older opinion. I've got a hater in there that I know is just going to talk shit no matter what. I've got an educated industry expert. I've got a corporate, so I have all of these people, and depending on what I'm doing, and I won't tell them it's an idea, and I won't tell them it's this, and I'll just kind of like drop something and just see what they say about it. And it just gives me information and feedback. Because again, when you ask someone, hey, tell me what you think about this, they feel obligated to give you an educated answer, even if they're not educated on the subject.
Oh, this could be a whole nother day.
Right.
Bad.
You're like, oh, well, let me tell you about, and you're like, you don't even know what you're talking about.
much of entrepreneurship do you think is really just becoming comfortable with being misunderstood?
A lot of it. I mean, for
I would
sure.
say all.
Yeah, I mean,
they're just going to be misunderstood.
Yeah, I would say, especially if you're kind of a first mover or you're a disruptor in something, nobody is going to believe in it.
You're going to get 0 likes on social media. For any Gen Zs out there, we need to break it down for you. 0 likes.
And you shouldn't
0
be
reshares.
And you shouldn't be looking for likes at all. I mean, what you should be looking for, does anybody want to buy it?
Yeah.
Does anybody talk about it? So anytime we launch a new product, we'll go to a place. And it could be a dinner party, it could be a tailgate, and we'll just bring a thing. And we won't tell anybody. And it'll just be in with everything else. And then we'll just observe.
I love that.
Does anybody talk about it? Does anybody take a sip and go, that's good? Does anybody take a bite and go, what the?
Yeah.
And that kind of gives you the indicators of, I may be onto something. And then you do that more often and you can start compiling the data versus, hey guys, I'm going to start a salad dressing company with my mom's recipe. What do you think? And people were like, nobody wants 3 meathead brothers selling salad dressing, you dumb assholes. And it was like, that made us unique.
Yeah.
Right? You got a bunch of big dudes hustling organic salad dressing.
They already loved it before it hit any shelves. Everybody was already addicted to it.
And all we had to do was, in the grand scheme of branding and selling and marketing and production, was like, don't fuck it up.
Right.
Just like, don't take no for an answer. Yeah. Get it on the shelf.
Don't change the recipe.
Let people try it. Don't change the recipe, and then see where it goes.
Yeah. Gonna get into your hard season, because that's the one that we're really interested in. Because somebody out there is sitting in the hard season. So you write openly about building a company to national success and then watching it ultimately sell out of bankruptcy.
Yep.
Was there a moment where you thought, I don't know if I can come back from this?
Yeah, the whole time.
Did you cry?
Yeah. 100%. I mean, so my false negative beliefs about myself are, I'm not good enough and I don't belong.
I feel like that's so common for entrepreneurs, is that at some point in their lives they have felt that.
Yeah. And so, you build this thing against all odds, against all the haters telling you it's not going to work. And then when it finally doesn't work, they're all right in theory.
They were all right. Shit.
But in the grand scheme of things, you got to look at it in its entirety, right? Because, okay, if you had told me when I was 25, Greg, and I wrote a letter to myself on Substack. I do a lot of writing on Substack. And it was a letter.
It's really good, by the way. For anybody who doesn't follow Greg on social at all, LinkedIn, on his podcast, really good stuff.
Unfiltered. But I wrote a letter to myself of like, hey man, this is going to be 15 years and it's going to completely change your entire perspective of the world. But at the end, it's not going to work. But that isn't the end of the journey.
Yeah.
And if you had told me when I was 25, you're going to launch this thing, you're going to be number 1 in the country, you're going to be Inc. Magazine's Entrepreneur of the Year, you're going to change food forever. You're going to invent clean manufacturing. You're going to teach your kids what it's like to take risk. You're going to figure out how to be a CEO and be healthy and be a dad and be a good brother and a son and
have some fainting goats.
You're going to have fainting goats.
Farm,
you're going to
alpacas.
Right. But
bullshit.
All of this that your ego and identity was tied to is going to go down in a fiery blaze. But you're not going to die.
Yeah.
Would you sign up for that? I say yes.
I think we're all in that crazy headspace where we would.
I would. Because that's like telling an athlete, you're going to go to this college. You're going to have the greatest experience of your life. You're going to be an All-American. You're going to eventually be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Which he was, by the way.
Boom. You're going to play professionally. But like, then you're going to go to the Final Four. And like in overtime, you're going to lose
in the last second.
And like your whole world is going to come, crumbling down to that athlete. Are you still going to go there?
Yes.
Everyone's saying yes. Everyone is saying yes.
We're going.
But we make these and again, it's still tough to talk about because you see every brand that we were bigger than or similar to recently, they've all sold for like $2 billion.
Yeah.
Like Poppy drinks, Siete fucking chips,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, holy
he wrote the blueprint,
shit.
Folks. He was the blueprint
I'm
for
like,
this.
you kind of laugh off. You're like, it's okay. Well, we're still
fine.
going.
It's
We got
fine.
the playbook.
Everything's fine.
I'm still young. But the character that you develop in those moments, they're not coming from the wins.
Right.
They're just not.
It's always the DNFs.
Yeah. And so I tell people when I kind of do keynotes and stuff, like, I like the guy that I am today way better than I like the guy that I was.
Did you look at my scripts?
No.
Did you sneak
at the height of quote unquote, let's call it LinkedIn success.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, we got another retailer. Hooray for us. Valuation is this. Look at how cool I am. And you're like, that's fucking nothing, man.
Yeah.
That means nothing.
No. That is literally my next question is when your identity becomes tied to what you've built, who was Greg without Tessemae? Is when this was stripped from you. Literally, I mean, it felt like overnight to everybody else. Who were you?
Yeah, so love my kids, love being a dad, love my family, love being married, love being a brother, love being a son. And so I think that has always given me so much perspective. I haven't always had perspective.
Yeah.
Like God does a great job of giving you an uppercut.
Does Genevieve, probably.
Yeah. Anytime you're getting a little too big for your britches, and a little
let
boom.
me remind you something. Sir.
Yeah. And my brothers do that too. So, they don't, if anybody knows them, they know they have loud mouths.
Yes.
But in its essence, it was like, I'm a dad.
Yeah.
To
Best
4
job
kids
in the world.
who love me, and I give back and I lead by example, and I'm creative and I'm ambitious and I'm willing to take risk and I'm disciplined and I'm all these things. And now let's go see if I can recreate it. But there were some moments there where the doubt of being a one-hit wonder was real. Mm-hmm. Because you think to yourself, was all this luck?
Yeah.
Like, did I just luck out and stumble onto a dead category that nobody had disrupted ever and somehow hit the clean eating movement perfectly? And
massive imposter syndrome in that moment. You're like, wow.
Well, it just like the whole thing. And I just started writing, and I realized that we had created all of that buzz, and we had willed all of that to happen.
Yeah, like we joke, but it was the blueprint for all of the others that have followed around this clean eating movement.
Yeah. And so in that moment, I'm like, let's see if we can recreate it, which we've done 6 times over since that point. But everybody is going to be left with that moment, and I cannot harp on it enough. You've got to have discipline and habits and a routine for your own excellence. Like, I wake up every morning 7 days a week with the number 4 in the beginning, and I write and I read and I meditate and I take an ice bath and I pray and I go to the sauna and I lift and I run, and I'm there when the sun comes up and my kids get up, and I'm fucking prepared.
Yeah. And
if you don't do that, it is so easy to hit snooze and just lay in your own misery. And then when the day starts and you're reactive instead of proactive, you're going to have a bad day.
Yeah.
Like, if you're waking up to dogs barking and kids yelling, like, that's a shitty morning. So I really think that helped.
So for somebody who maybe, they're something that they created just tanked, they're laying in bed, they're getting ready to hit snooze.
Yeah.
What's the conversation that you had with yourself in that darkest season that nobody else heard? That maybe this person who's getting ready to hit snooze and say, I'm scrapping it, I'm done for, like, this sucks. What conversation did you have with yourself that may help them?
Read the poem If by Rudyard Kipling. It's magnificent. Read Teddy Roosevelt's Man in the Arena. It's actually a whole speech that he gives. My wife bought me an original copy of the book.
We're bringing Genevieve in.
It's a first
Who is
edition.
This magical woman.
And so the speech is really wonderful. And then and anybody can do this quickly. There's a speech that Rocky gives to his son in the movie Rocky, where, he's older and his son's in Wall Street or whatever. And it's like a 4-minute speech where he just basically says, like, life is going to beat you to the ground and it will keep you there if you let it. And he just kind of goes through it. It's just a perfect example of he's right.
Yeah.
If you allow, and I tell this to my kids all the time, people will treat you how you allow them to treat you.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
And life is the same way. And so in those moments where you're like, well, I'm a fucking failure, it's like, get your ass up and take a step.
Yeah.
And it's not rocket science, and there's not going to be this magical moment. It's going to feel like you're walking in 4 feet of mud, and you just need to keep going
one
forward.
Foot in front of the other.
But also do habits that allow you to do it.
Right.
Drinking yourself stupid, it's going to feel awesome in the moment. The next day is going to make that mud slog that you have to do
Yes. Oh my God.
10,000 times worse.
Yeah. Where was I going with that? It's so true. It really is. And I think I had a coach tell me, I still have a business coach for myself, and then I coach people in business too and in life. But something that she gave me as a reframe that has shifted everything is that I was really kind of perpetually asking, like, what's the worst that could happen? And it felt like a positive thing to say in the moment. But she was like, have you tried asking what the best thing could happen is? And it's wild how much that changed, because we do, anything bad can happen and will happen if that's the script you have replaying in your head.
Yep.
But if you switch it to what's the best that can happen, then you're so much more willing to take risks. You're like, whatever, maybe it'll like get me into the next grocery store. Maybe it'll get me into regional. And you end up outbetting yourself. It's crazy how far you're able to go when it's that mentality versus staying stuck in, well, what if it fails? What if people don't like it? What if it, whatever.
Yeah.
It's hard to move forward. So I totally get that. We're going to shift into family perspective, redefining success for you. You talk a lot about and write a lot about your family. You just had one recently that I thought was beautifully done. You talked about kind of your wife's perspective and how you're really protective of kind of how you allow her to see you as you're building this thing. So if you haven't read it, you need to go and look this up, everybody. I think it was on LinkedIn last week, I want to say. But you're incredibly aware of how you show up as a dad, as a spouse. So that often gets really clouded as you become an entrepreneur. A lot of people don't think of that at all. That kind of comes secondary once everything's blown up in their face. The spouse is walking out the door. The kids are like, F this guy. They don't know you. So how do you keep who you are outside of entrepreneurship front and center? How do you still keep showing up as dad and husband and son and brother first?
I think once you experience failure like I've experienced it, you realize that there is nothing else.
Right.
And so when you're young and dumb, you think success is money, cars, multiple homes, jets, social accolades.
That's what the world teaches you.
All the bullshit. And when you get it, you realize, okay, that's not really fulfilling. And then when you lose it, you realize the only things that matter are these little moments that happen in between of you waiting for the big moments to happen. And so I think that's a big thing. And then the other thing I think is really interesting is just like relationship loss. People that you fought for and defended and staked your reputation on to protect, when they leave you in the moment you need them the most, and that happens over and over and over again, you realize there really is nothing more than basically the 4 things money can't buy. And I talk about this a lot, which is your health, your soul, your time, and your children's love.
Mm-hmm. Oh, big ones.
And so when you kind of treat those as the pillars, the legs on a table, everything else basically needs to be on top of that.
Yeah.
And everything else that isn't within that, I look at it with such a different perspective now.
Helps you filter things out. Like, what should you focus on and what you shouldn't? If it doesn't hit any of those 4 things, like, it's out of here. It's not taking my energy. It's
not taking my energy. And even if it tries to temporarily, I know what the result is now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, you know, as humans, we have to just like keep failing forward, but we also need to just kind of keep perspective of like, I've done the same dumb thing now 3 times. Maybe I should not do it a 4th. Yeah. So
we're going to do something that I think is really fun. It's rapid fire, but a game of Would You Rather.
Oh, all right.
It's
not the college one, hopefully.
It's not the college one. We kept it clean, folks. That's for after hours. Would you rather build something wildly successful that everyone remembers or quietly change a handful of lives forever?
Well, I've already done the first, so the second.
Yeah. Would you rather know exactly how your story ends or have no idea what's coming?
No idea.
Same. Would you rather never fail publicly or never doubt yourself privately?
Definitely never doubt myself privately.
Yeah. Would you rather be deeply respected or deeply understood? That one's tough.
Shit.
I
don't think I want either, to be honest. I don't care if anybody understands me.
That's the answer we want.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Would you rather lose everything you've built or lose the ability to build again?
Well, I already did the first one. So
and he's alive, folks. He didn't die.
Definitely the second one.
Would you rather have unlimited resources or unlimited resilience?
I have unlimited resilience. I'll try the resources this time, this go around.
Would you rather win fast and lose perspective or struggle first and gain wisdom? I feel like we all know.
Yeah. I'll continue to take the wisdom.
Would you rather have success arrive earlier than expected or exactly when you're ready for it?
I talk a lot about that's why you see all these people go down in a fiery blaze because they were not prepared for the success.
Yeah.
You've got to be prepared for it. So definitely that.
And I think that's so true. Just a quick sidebar is a lot of people think that entrepreneurs are kind of, I guess that they don't think things through. They're pretty quick to make decisions. And I don't know that that's the case. We spend a lot of time thinking before we hit execute. We're thinking about every possible scenario and we're doing it out.
Well, and I think people think that because we're doing it 10 times faster and 10 times the amount that a normal person does it.
It's not impulse.
No.
It's a different thinking. Yeah. I venture to say a lot of us are ADD. Would you rather be remembered as an incredible entrepreneur or an incredible husband and father? We don't even need to. Yeah. Would you rather know the biggest opportunity you'll ever miss or the biggest mistake you'll ever make?
Ugh. So I don't understand that one.
Would you rather know the biggest opportunity, so be aware of the opportunity that's coming up, or would you rather have like a crystal ball and know what your biggest mistake is going to be?
Probably the mistake.
Me too. Like, God, give me time to prepare.
Yeah.
Would you rather guarantee success but lose the journey or keep the journey and remove the guarantee?
Keep the journey.
Always. Okay, we're not even going to ask the last one because it had to do with peace. But I am going to wrap with something that I thought that you in particular would love because I stumbled across this quote the other day. It was a post from a mom, and I could not stop sobbing. So we'll see if we can get through this one without crying. But I thought it would resonate well with you. So someday your child will describe their childhood to someone you've never met. They'll sit at a table you didn't set, in a home you didn't build, across from people who only know them as adults. And they'll tell them a story about what it was like to grow up with you as a parent. Not every detail, just the parts that stayed. So, your kids, years from now, they're with their spouses, their kids, their friends. They tell a story about you. but only the parts that stayed with them. What are the parts that you hope stay that are your legacy?
That unconditional love for them, that I held them to a standard that they were capable of, and I did it out of love. That I always led by example on their behalf, and that I was there for them no matter what, come hell or high water.
Yeah. And you see that in all of Greg's writing, all of his posts, all of his success. It all comes back to simple. Like, it really is your kids, your family. And I love it. It's a beautiful thing to see. So anyone who doesn't follow you on social media or any of that, how can they get in touch with you and tell them a little bit about what it is that you're doing now?
Yeah, so I'm
excited about.
Yeah, I'm on social media. I have a website, gregoryvetter.com. I write on Substack a lot, multiple times a week. I'm kind of in the middle of a lot, actually. Have a brand accelerator where I help kind of brand scale.
I was hoping that you'd bring the apples and the peanut butter here. I just saw it and I was like, what the hell? He came in here without the apple dippers.
Yeah. We have a produce business. We have a vodka business called Quenchers. So ready to drink, think vodka and Gatorade Zero, basically. No bubbles.
And then after you drink it, he has Tushies for when you're on the go and you need it to go toilet.
Portable toilet business that we launched out of the brand accelerator, actually, which is pretty funny. Then wrote a bunch of books and...
Be prepared for the recent... Wait. Is Undressed your most recent?
No.
It's the Amish. Almost Amish.
Backbone, we just released a little while ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
check out the cover of all of them. I'll just Greg's clothed for this podcast.
Yeah.
He was not on the cover of his book.
That was an interesting story. We'll talk about that next time, probably.
Awesome. Well, Greg, we could probably talk for hours because I feel like there's just a lot of synergies and a lot of alignment in the work that we do. But we loved having you as a guest, and you'll have to come back.
Yes.
All right. This has been Grit Files. I'm your host, Laura Reynolds.